Okay. I think we're good to go.
Oh, you made this the big screen this time.
I think so. I hope that's right. I hope that's right. Okay, let's get the chat on there.
Pop out chat.
That's where it is.
There you go.
Cool.
Let people trickle in.
Trying to find this chat thing. Which one is that? YouTube studio chat pop out. Ta-da. Hello, everyone. Hey, Cowboy Jeff. Hello. Okay, I'd make sure it's the top and the bottom of the chat. There we go. Howdy, howdy, y'all.
This is Tanner's channel now. Just kidding.
I'm at least the one that sets up technical stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you want to do first?
I need to oil this chair. It's so squeaky.
WD-40.
Yeah. Have some upstairs.
We're going to let everyone trickle in.
Trickle, trickle. Yep. Good evening.
We're going to talk about AR15 alternatives. Hopefully not get taken down on the stream. Yeah. And then talk about the new Hearing Protection Act.
Yep.
HPA.
Yep.
I'm going to go grab a drink.
Okay. Sounds good. Now we can roast him while he's gone. Yeah, we'll let everybody just get in and then we will get at it.
Should I start us off with the drill?
Oh, yeah, go for it. I have not played this since last week, to be honest.
Tanner's Tech, huh?
Yeah.
I do have a Porsche channel.
Oh, yeah, I didn't say this last time, but he does have a channel. He just doesn't really post on it right now. And hopefully one day he will pick it back up again. But what is it? What is it called?
That's just my name. But it's just Porsche stories.
Yeah, so if you're into cars and Porsche specifically, is it under just your name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just Tanner Seymour. So.
Which came first, your channel or mine? Yours definitely succeeded mine.
That's a good question.
Well, that's cute, little calendar. I didn't even notice that. Why did I not notice that before?
I don't know. Because you don't really look at it.
Probably because most of these photos are honestly a little boring. That last photo is pretty good, the May one. May looks like a party. That looks fun.
That does look fun. Look at how many times we played. That is so sad.
Where? Oh, where?
Yeah.
Where you? Oh my gosh, yeah.
The check marks.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
we. See, when I first got it, It's just life has been so busy lately.
It's been crazy. To the range. Oh, sorry. All right. I guess we'll start with this one.
What is this one? Have we done this one?
I'm like way too close. I think so. CZ Academy. Ooh. I'm trying to find where I'm at. Okay. Yeah, this is good, right?
Sure.
There's the wall. Okay. I feel like I'm in the wrong spot. That's the one thing about VR is like you.
If you have not hit something in your home, then you don't play it enough.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
I mean, was it last time I almost broke the light? I knocked the light down.
Yeah.
Or 2 times ago. I don't know. Whenever that was.
I guess you're supposed to put hands here.
Yeah, I think so, but. Was that a...
I
Something
totally
went
don't know.
wrong there.
A lot of things went wrong.
Was it slow or did it not pull, did not go off when you pulled the trigger?
I don't know. That was weird.
I have the trigger sensitivity. It should be good. It should be just light enough, but not too light.
We gotta get a new battery for this controller too. Hold on, lady. Okay, let me, I forgot the drill. Okay, so shoot paper targets, all steel must fall, left popper activates left, right popper activates, target right, must be shot from the respective. Okay, that's.
I am not familiar with that holster.
Which one?
The Incognito X holster. I am not sure. But maybe I can look it up and give my 2 cents on it just from looking at it, but I'm not sure. I have not seen that one.
Trigger, I think, on this.
Are you sure? Did it mess up again?
Yeah. Let's try it one more time. See if I can get it.
We can go a little bit lighter if needed.
Yep, see?
Okay. We also may need to do an update. Okay, do you want to...
No, I want to keep going.
Okay, he wants to just keep going. Maybe it's a you problem.
Oh, you see that?
I wasn't really paying attention.
That, like, triple tap. It's not a me problem. I have a lot of problems. This one's not mine. Do you know how to adjust it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is technical Alyssa time.
Yeah, this is what I'm good at. Okay, see if I can figure it out. Okay, let's go to the HUD.
Alright, any cool questions come up yet?
Not yet, but do we want to start with our topics that we're going to...
Yeah. So the HPA, I got to pull up notes on this one.
Oh, why did it go back up? Maybe it was after an update. Yeah, I like to set the trigger sensitivity to 0.15 because I feel like that's the closest to like the
realistic
actual trigger break. Sorry, what?
It's realistic.
Yeah, well, like with the handset.
Yeah.
Because if you like go any lighter than that, it goes off without even the trigger breaking, and I don't like that.
Some people game the system that way.
True, and I haven't actually tried that, but we should do that one day.
Okay, well, let's
Say
talk
yes,
about the
you
HPA.
Update your app. Okay, yeah, we probably do need to do an update, but it's okay.
Yeah, we'll do it after.
Yeah, we'll do it after.
I'm looking up the gun policy with the...
With what?
Is it gun policy or Gun Owners America?
Oh, yes. So Gun Owners America, like 10 minutes ago, it was like 5 minutes before we went live, so maybe 10, 15 now. They posted that the Hearing Protection Act is included in the reconciliation bill, or whatever it's called, the Big Beautiful Bill, or whatever they like to call it, right? And so, good job, guys, whoever called and called your representative to push that through, because the Hearing Protection Act is included, which includes suppressors. So that's basically to take that off of the NFA. However, the Short Act is not included. So that is about the SBRs.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but it is a win that the Hearing Protection Act is included. So hopefully it got through the House, right? Or is it not?
Yeah.
Was it voted on?
I think it got through the House.
No.
If the bill passes the House. So it hasn't gone through the House.
So they haven't voted, but
it can be amended in the Senate.
Yeah, so it's in the amendment. So hopefully that'll pass through the House and then, pass through the Senate and it'll all go through.
So yeah, Karsten just asked about that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now, Karsten. So the bill that is being proposed is now finalized to go to the House. It has not been voted on in the House yet. So we're still waiting for it to pass the House. Then it goes to the Senate. Then it goes to the presidency, right? The short could be added when it goes to the Senate if this passes the House. That could be the strategy that happens here.
But then would it need to go back to the House?
No, it can be modified. Things can be modified.
But it doesn't need to be... like voted on
reintroduced.
again?
No, as long as it's all still part of the big bill. So there's one big bill. The way this is working is there's one massive bill that is like a tax restructure. You know, that's where a lot of people are talking about tax on tips and, you know, restructuring a lot of just how income tax works, simplifying tax codes, closing a lot of loopholes per se, but also making taxes overall cheaper, to my understanding, and easier to understand. So anyway, it's like a tax
There's
bill.
A lot in that is that there's a lot that it includes. It's like 378 pages or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a large bill.
Which I hate that this is how government has to work, where you have to have like throw a shotgun approach at everything each time instead of just voting on individual things. But whatever. At least in this one, we get what we want with suppressors. So, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, to reiterate what Alyssa said, suppressors being removed, the Hearing Protection Act is included in that bill currently, but sorry, lost train of thought.
Did I distract you? Sorry.
Yeah, I was watching your go. So suppressors being removed off of the NFA is included, but not short-barreled rifles.
Oh gosh.
Or short-barreled shotguns. I'm getting flagged.
I
Yeah.
don't think I pressed it hard enough.
We're way looser with this gun than we are real guns, by the way. So. Okay, I lost my window here for a second. There it is. Okay. Things looking up, yeah.
Oops. Almost just another one.
If you guys are picking up cans, I mean, hey, it is what it is. We have some cans coming in. We're still waiting on a few. Like, we have potentially some that we're purchasing. So like, I wouldn't wait to buy a can for this unless $200 is gonna really hurt you, right?
Well, the thing is, we don't know how, if it passes, we don't know when. Like what the timeline looks like. So,
like, let's put it this way: you will still get your can faster than this will take effect. It may be a year. It could be a really long time. So
yeah.
No, we don't have the holster yet.
For
the Ace.
Oh, for the Ace. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what that is.
Yeah, I don't think they're making Ace themselves. I don't think they're making one for the Staccato HD yet. Maybe. I mean, at the time of buying this,
yeah,
they didn't. So maybe they are now. But
let's ask this question. Throw a question out there to the chat. If you could have one gun law, like revoked, so machine guns, short-barreled suppressors, basically, what would it be? And I'm trying to think if I would want machine guns more than I want. Yeah, I think machine guns would be mine. Would you rather have short-barreled rifles, shotguns, machine guns, or suppressors is really the question. I think everyone's going to say machine guns. It's a pretty obvious one.
Probably. But we should make a poll.
Put a poll up.
My latest can took 3 days. Yeah, so I think I mentioned this before, but the very first one Tanner bought was like, what, 9 months?
Oh, that's not the drill.
Your Rugged?
Yeah, Rugged took 9 months. So it was like
9 months, COVID. And then, yeah. But ever since the new, like, faster times, our first one was like 15 days, but we also use a trust, which typically takes longer, and I think it was like 5 days, and then 2 days, and then 3 days, something like that. So it got faster for us, and yeah, it's pretty fast these days. We typically go through, we use Silencer Shop, but sometimes we don't always buy our cans through Silencer Shop, but Silencer Shop has some great cans.
Oh, I didn't reload. Forgot about that.
Take SBR off the NFA, yeah.
Yeah.
That one is the most, like, that's the stupidest one, honestly. Like, yeah, short barrel. We should.
I don't know why I'm not.
We should do a poll. Let's do it. So what are we saying? Ooh.
I'm so slow.
SBRs,
A part of me wants to
suppressors,
do it the old way. That's bad.
or
Embarrassing
machine guns.
I'm forgetting the reload. I hate that it's infinity. Can we take that off?
What?
The infinity ammo thing?
Take it off?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, just forcing a mandatory reload is weird on me.
You mean
I'm being
keep it on?
I'm being a wuss is what it is.
You like the reload or you don't like
I
the
like
reload?
the reload.
Oh, you like it. Okay. There we go.
What score did you get?
Yes, we need to shoot together. We need to... I don't know how many people you can put on multiplayer. We should just have a little party. Because I know people have used my code. And so I know you guys have it. So if you have it, we need to get on multiplayer.
I know I lost that one. I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, what did you get?
I don't want to talk about it. It was pretty bad. Anyway, let's do this one. Okay. This is all poppers. This makes me feel better.
Stand by.
Yeah, constitutional carry nationwide would be amazing. Will it ever happen? I hope so. But we'll see.
Alright, first one's 85.
Stand by.
Yes. Yeah, the
Yes.
entire... Sorry, no, I was reading comments. Repeal the entire NFA. Yes, I agree. I agree. But if you can only choose one to take off, what would it be? But yeah, I do agree.
Stand by.
Yeah, true. I don't... What, someone mentioned, like your driver's license.
Stand by.
It's like, yeah, it should be, your concealed carry permit should be the same thing. Right?
I don't know about that.
Right? What? What's your argument against that?
Hold on, I need to think about it.
I know
What's
it's
your
hard to do
argument?
both.
What's your argument?
Stand by.
Comparing like concealed carry permits to like driver's license, to where they should be, what's the word?
Alright. Ending it on 107, that's fine.
Okay.
That one.
I'll try it.
It's almost dead by the way. So we gotta charge it.
Okay, you want to charge it for a second now? Or
Yeah,
you want me to-
we can charge it and then we can move to our second topic while we let that charge.
You can shoot with 8 in multiplayer? Man, we need to have a little party.
Oh yeah,
That's what we need to
That would
do.
be great. Okay, so what am I trying to think here? Our next topic was AR-15 alternatives, right?
Yeah.
Can we put a poll, like open-ended? No, it's just chat. That's just chat. I was gonna say
Open-ended.
open-ended poll is just chat. I was gonna
Let's
say,
see
what are AR-15 alternatives that we should talk about on stream?
pretty even right now. Sorry, what'd you say?
What are some AR-15 alternatives that we should talk about on stream? One gun I'm really excited about is the AP223, to be honest.
Yeah, because you just got that in.
Yeah.
I say you because that was your baby.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to hopefully not get banned from YouTube by showing this, but I think you can. I think.
Better be careful here.
APC 223 BNT.
AK-47. I don't love AKs yet. Is that how I want to say it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we only have one, and that it's in the shop, or it's back to PSA right now, getting fixed. So I just don't have a lot of experience with them, so I don't love them, but I also, like I said, don't have a lot of experience. So.
When I say AR-15 alternative, I mean Western style,
Yeah.
like NATO compliant, I guess.
Yeah.
Not talking about AKs, but
More of like the piston driven.
yeah. But I think this is like the best when it comes to current AR-15 alternatives right here, which is the APC 223. Basically, it's a Swiss block Lego block gun. But it's probably the most accurate option, as aside from maybe what's the other gun out there? It's more accurate than the Bren. It's better than
Yeah, you said it kind of looks like a Bren.
yeah, it's like a Bren. It's definitely beefier than a Bren. It takes more abuse than a Bren. If you watch there's a guy who did a side-by-side comparison doing mud tests and stuff like that, and this thing just chewed through it. The only downside is the price, which I don't think we can mention price on stream, so we just won't. But
Yeah.
look it up. It's a bit of a price. It's
But you know what you're getting is good,
yeah,
I'd say.
yeah. It's a pretty modular system for what it is. Each one of these blocks here, so think of it like 3 pieces, where an AR-15 is kind of your upper and lower, and then all that comes with it. This thing is like 3 pieces. You got your lower, which comes off these 2 pins. You got your stock or brace.
I don't know about YouTube. I don't know if you should talk
I
about
can talk about it. As long as I don't show it, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
And this just basically, you just punch it down and it comes out, and then it's got your hydraulic buffer in there. There's a hydraulic buffer that softens the recoil and deadens it, so it doesn't all the way, the bolt doesn't all the way impact the rear. So it has some pretty cool perks. But yeah, short stroke piston system, I think. I like the ambidextrous controls. I like AR-15 alternatives because my biggest gripe with the AR-15 is your charging handle. When you're using, when you got a malfunction and you got that charging handle right here. Here's my arm, length of the arm. I have to finagle here to get my...
It's like awkward.
Yeah, it's super awkward to get my bolt clear and like try to empty out, right?
I will say, he tried to sell me on that point, and I was like, yeah, but it's not really that big of a deal. Like, we're just so used to it, whatever. And then
you had
recently,
malfunctions?
well, not necessarily malfunctions, but just recently, just as I've had more experience with like side charging handles,
Mm-hmm.
and then going back to, it was because the HK was super stiff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I hate this because you just don't get good leverage, I feel like, compared to like a side charging handle.
Yeah, so side charging, like gripping and ripping here, like I think it's all about like leverage, like you're mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Like here with the AR-15 T charging handle style, like either I'm here and I have to like kind of finagle my wrist like this, and there's not a lot of leverage here. I'm like kind of using just my elbow. Whereas, with side charging, I can like rack that gun into my shoulder, have it still up and ready, and try and clear it, get a new mag in, whatever it is, clear out the jam, finagle
I could
it.
go into like whole body like biomechanics into this,
Yeah.
like why that's anyway.
It's just a better system. AK guys, you could probably understand because you can and you probably can't because you
if
gotta
you're
go
a
like
lefty,
this.
you'll
or this.
understand.
Yeah. So biomechanics wise, I think that alternative rifles other than the AR-15 are better.
Yeah.
Which is something. Now, CZ Bren, let's see, we got any suggestions in chat?
What about the JAKL?
Well,
I've seen mixed things. I personally don't have experience with it.
let's just be honest. Like,
What are you doing?
well, I'm trying to save that image apparently.
You're just so used to doing that.
Save image for a video. This is the Bren, but let's also pull up the JAKL. Why not? We're gonna compare all of these guns and just talk about what is it? PSA.
Where can I find a woman that's into guns? Not in New York City, that's for sure.
Yeah.
First suggestion: get out of the city. No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like that makes it harder.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying.
I think the ratio is harder to find.
Yeah.
The ratio to like females who are into guns is probably higher out, but there's probably still women who are into guns inside the city, right?
Oh yeah.
Like the same amount. I would say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm no.
I guess it depends on how you're trying to find the women too.
Trying to find a good like high res photo. That's pretty cool.
It doesn't need to be high res.
Woodland camo's awesome. Definitely style points. I know we can't show people holding the gun, so I'm worried about these little images of people holding it. Oh look, Micah. Okay, so, but I do want to talk about the JAKL. And I'm worried to talk about the JAKL, to be honest, because I think there are some things that PSA does well, and then there are some things that I think they don't do well. And you can, we've said this on the channel before. Two things can be true. In that PSA could have a good mission, but they also could have guns that don't work. Oh my gosh, why can't I find a high res photo? It's like that. I can zoom in. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. I'm very picky. That's a decent one.
Just pick something.
That's a decent one, I think. I want to make sure it's like pretty accurate to what a JAKL is. That's a JAKL, right? That's a JAKL. Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
Don't even know what we're talking about.
So AR, anything else? Any other suggestions in chat? Galil? Galil's a vibe. Old school Galil's a vibe. I don't know. I think that's more of an AK alternative. SIG MCX. Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. SIG MCX. Any other alternatives we want to find? And we'll kind of go down the list and talk about them. BRN-180. That's a good one, actually. Mm-hmm. Okay, SCAR. Of course, we got to throw SCAR in there. BRN-180. That's a solid choice. The Gen 3. We have a Gen 3. We need to do a video on it.
Yeah. Now that we fixed your issue.
Okay, my issue.
Yeah, your
PTR 91. PTR that's a vibe. The 91, the HK G3 clones, all those HK guns are awesome. ACR you can't really get, but we can throw an honorable mention in there. I know Bushmaster wants to resell them for 50,000. Sorry, I can't say it. Whoops. Bushmaster wants to resell them for an exorbitant amount of money. But we'll throw that in there. AR15. SCAR. We gotta do the SCAR.
So when's your next tactical games? Well, probably at the end of June. Hopefully. He's gonna be out of town, so I gotta figure out the baby situation, and it's in Idaho, so it's not super close. So I gotta drive a little bit. So I just have to find a babysitter who can come with me. So I'm hoping I can make it happen. If not, then it'll be the Utah event. I'm doing a team event with his sister. Mm-hmm. So that's at the end of August. And then he also wants to do a tactical game, so hopefully we might end up doing Arizona. I think it's in October. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good.
I saw that come through. I just wanted to answer that. You know more about these than I do, I will say that. So if I'm quiet, that's why.
I'm a nerd. I worked in a gun shop for like 4 years. My first few jobs.
Yeah.
Worked at 2 of them for like combined maybe 5 years. Total,
and then
as far as the gun stuff.
Other experience in the industry, going out and doing stuff.
The Reaper commercial, I shot that one. Fun experience, but definitely a prototype gun at the time. So I was gonna say, somebody brought up the MDR 5.56. We'll save that category. I don't think it's necessarily an AR-15 alternative because it's bullpup. Doesn't quite fit the same role. I think.
Love bullpups.
I do like bullpups, but we can have that debate later.
I know I've mentioned it before too.
Somebody brought up the AR-18, but I think we got pretty much everything in here. AR-18, that's kind of loose. There's a lot of manufacturers out there. I also think like everything's kind of a derivative of AR-15.
Yeah.
Think about it, but okay.
I'm gonna scroll down.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's more stuff.
I want to make sure we're not missing. You should go to the Idaho event. Yeah, hopefully I can make that happen. I'm gonna recruit some family member.
Ryan, we do have the SIG Spear. So here's what we got in the lineup, guys, to talk about. We've got APC 223. We've got the CZ Bren. We've got the JAKL. We've got the MCX. We've got the BRN-180, the Bushmaster ACR, Call of Duty favorite, and the SCAR, probably the OG of the clan, like the one that's really started all.
Does that look good to you? That build. Does that look good to you?
Does it look good to you?
No.
It's got its appeal. It's got its own sex appeal to me.
Okay.
Every guy will understand this, but it's like sometimes you're like, you know, you got your type, your woman type that you like, and then like there's that X factor, that outlier. Like that's kind of the outlier for me.
Okay. Okay.
If you're a guy, you'll understand.
All right. I'm pretty sure most of these are guys, so.
But I mean, the UGG boot is like, it's got its own charm.
That's.
The
I remember
UGG
who
boot's
made
like
that
pretty
video,
great.
that little reel.
Oh gosh, I want to
That
say it
was
was
hilarious.
Pew reviewer. He had a Pew in his
I
name,
don't
but
know.
that was funny. That was a good one. What don't you like about this gun?
I don't know. It's just there's just lots going on, and it just doesn't mesh well. I feel like.
Oh, thank you for the 5, man. Seriously, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Honestly, that'll go to ammo
Yeah.
for the next video. So for me, I think the Scar is kind of too big. It's too big, too bulky.
What? Sorry. What's
Oh,
too big and
okay.
too bulky?
I view the Scar as the modern battle rifle version of the modern muscle car. Muscle car is a good way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah, like the suppressor's too long as well. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is old school. This is very 2000s era build right here.
It just feels like you're trying too hard, you know?
FN, you're trying too hard. Sorry, I don't know
Well,
what to say.
I mean,
all
like-
the FN engineers right now.
This build specifically. I'm not saying
Yeah.
the gun, but
And I think what we had to come back to is like the Army wanted something that's different than the M4, that was lightweight, had other capabilities like being chambered in 308, I think, but what?
the giant foregrip should be illegal.
Oh yeah. Gosh,
That is
that's
it. Yeah.
it's
that's a
inappropriate
little-
to say what that looks like, but I think
That's-
we all get it.
That was one part that I kind of caught my eye. It was just, it's a little too much.
But there's a charm about the Scar that I like and I appreciate. I think we all can appreciate like the charm
It'd
about
be
it.
better if it came with a grenade. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an era for sure. Like the best version
Yeah.
of a Scar is a under barrel grenade launcher. I think that's probably the best.
500 drum mag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now you're doing Call of Duty loadouts.
Yeah.
Okay, so not quite finished with the Scar yet, but I think the biggest con about the Scar is it was from an era of these kind of battle rifles, these I don't know what you want to call it, intermediate cartridge battle rifle. No, it's not a battle rifle. Wrong term, but assault rifle. It's definitely got that blocky texture. It is surprisingly lightweight for the size. Like it looks.
Probably a Ready Gunner.
I've shot a
or-
lot of these. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only ones I haven't shot is the BRN-180 actually. We owned an MCX for a while. You shot that at Ohio Range Day. That's the
No, I
rifle.
didn't.
Yeah, that's the rifle you used.
The first year?
Yeah, it was gray. Remember? It's Gen 2 MCX. Big old foregrip section.
I was not really that into guns back then, so I don't
I know.
really remember. I mean,
If
I
I
was,
put
but I
it,
wasn't.
If I put
you
it
know?
in your hands, all the memories are going to come back.
Yeah, probably.
Because you constantly complained about how front heavy that gun.
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Yeah.
It
So-
was heavy.
But yeah,
I mean, okay, I say that when I was like at home, but then like when you're on the range, you don't notice it, or at least I
yeah,
didn't
because
notice
you're just
it.
doing drills, you're running it.
Yeah.
But I think the
But
Scar
then
was a
this-
good era.
But that was only one.
Sorry.
Dog's going crazy. But that was only 1 year. The next year was the Radiant build, right?
Yes, the next year was a
Okay.
Radiant build, so you only ran that for 1 year.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so Scar, cool for the time, a little bit bulky, functionality. Like I think FN has reiterated the gun multiple times. Back in the day, most common Scars are like reciprocating charging handles, which is kind of outdated because you want to
Yeah.
be able to have like your hand anywhere in this area. You know, it basically a hit and
People-
slap with that.
If it's not, if it's reciprocating,
Yeah,
people like
hate that.
that would be the first thing people mention.
Which is understandable because you have to imagine this like 1 to 1.5 inches is sticking out, and if that gets impeded by anything on the cycling of the gun, it could prevent it from loading around, right? So that's not just like annoying by it potentially hitting your hand. That's a potential feature that gets your gun shut down. So But I do believe they have non-reciprocating versions now. So they basically just chop this right here, chop the bolt in half, or at least this little section in half, and then have some sort of retention system built in to where you have to defeat the retention to pull it back, and then when it cycles, it'll just push this forward and it'll retain right there.
And yeah, we don't mention the 320.
We're not talking about the 320. Again, two things
No.
can be true. SIG has a terrible 320 situation, but they also could make other good guns.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Okay.
And that brings us to the
320 grenade 40 millimeter underbarrel.
I think we ought to talk about this guy.
You didn't hear that.
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
Not the SIG.
Oh no, I meant the
320.
Okay,
Okay,
good,
when
good
you
call.
hear 320 these
Like-
days, you just automatically think that, right?
Is that a
It's
fucking
on
320?
everybody's top
Yeah.
of mind, right? So.
Let's talk about the Jackal. Now,
That's
PSA
okay.
can make and design good guns. Some guns are easier to design and make than others because
that's
they've
fair.
been around for so long, right?
Yeah. Right?
PSA can have good guns. PSA can also have bad QC. Two things can be true.
Yeah.
And you could be pulling the luck of the draw depending on what you get. I have seen great things on this gun, and I have seen horrible things about this gun. And with
Yeah.
our track record currently with PSA, I can understand why. And I think
So-
we're like one of the very few YouTubers who will like kind of admit that.
Yeah. So, and I don't like. It's not meant to like trash on anybody. Rigid Tactical. I don't think he's in here tonight, or else he would be commenting. But
Yeah.
he did say he was surprised we were having issues with the crank. Okay, let's just put that out there.
Mhm.
And so he mentioned he was surprised because they test every gun before they go out.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. I don't know specifically on like what their QC process is and what they do in house, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we had issues, and that's
I
all we
mean-
can speak for, right? So we had had issues with it cycling.
Yeah. It doesn't.
So
I mean, it's hard to say, but it doesn't. The issues I have seen mostly from the Jackal side of
From
things
this
is
one, yeah.
accuracy.
okay,
be honest.
yeah,
So some people have really great experiences testing the accuracy. I think there's one guy who's at like 1.5 MOA or something like that, something crazy. Which standard, like for a 223 16-inch rifle, like you'd kind of expect 1.5 and below to
yeah.
be pretty standard. If you're below 1 MOA at 16, you're good. If you're below 1 MOA, if you're at 1 MOA or below it, below 14 inches, you're amazing. Like you're dialed.
Yeah.
But like you should always be chasing the 1 MOA rifle. It's pretty
Yeah.
much kind of what I think. That way you don't you can't blame the gun for throwing your shots.
So if you want to be able to blame the gun, don't get a gun that's 1 MOA.
Yeah. So anyway, I just, if I were a consumer and I was looking at the Jackal, the thing is PSA is great with customer service.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If
They
you have
are.
an issue,
They are the people's like company. They're
Yeah.
people's brand or whatever you want to.
which again, I'm not gonna like not trying to be we don't hate them,
No.
we don't love them. They are what they are. Overall, I think they're good.
Yeah.
Like
They're
overall,
listening to
PSA 's
people.
Good.
I've heard, yeah, like you said, like great, like customer service and
So like
so,
as a customer, would I take the role and chance, getting a 2.5 MOA, Jackal? Maybe, like, I don't know. It's still a lot of money. It's still in the above 1K range, right? So,
yeah.
it just kind of depends on like, what's your budget? What's your purpose? Are you willing to take the risk? And if you lose that risk, are you willing to go through the hassle of getting potentially a new gun or shipping it back to
Right.
PSA, having it looked at, right? So
Because if you're not wanting to have to ship it back or even just deal with that, then it might not be worth it.
Might not be worth it.
You might want to just get something is gonna run right out of the box without having to touch it.
Yeah.
Have you shot the Jackal?
Admittedly, this and the BRN-180 are guns I have not shot.
Yeah, I didn't think
So,
you. have shot this one.
I
haven't
can't. I
either.
can't talk to. I'm only speaking from what I've seen.
Yeah.
People talk about, and the JAKL is a hot topic because, like I've said, there's been a lot of talk about it not working, and then there's been a lot of talk about how great it is and it's amazing for what.
And then people will say those people are shills.
Yeah.
But I mean.
But there is data and proof.
Yeah, that's what
in
you
both,
can't.
like.
I mean, I
both
guess you could
cases.
try to, but you can't really like
In our-
fake
Yeah.
like data.
I don't believe people are intentionally throwing their shot groups out and posting it online.
Yeah.
But again, like that's stuff I've seen on Reddit. Also, personal experience with our current situation, dealing with PSA. So
Yeah.
you know, like I said, I think overall, I think they do good. I think they make good. They can make good stuff. It's the QC's questionable. You have to know that going into it, and you kind of have to know that going into anything that's cheap, right? This is half the cost of this. So I think, you know, what we'll probably do, we probably should have done a tier list and like put these at tiers, but it's kind of organizing itself in that way. So by these tabs, so at the bottom we got the Scar. I think that's the grandpappy, the old school guy, and then you have all these other comers who have kind of made their way, which I think we've kind of organized it.
Oh wow!
Accidentally,
look
how
which
I
one
would
is
put
in
these.
the front.
Yeah, definitely top tier.
Surprise! Surprise!
Anyway, but let's move on to the ACR Bushmaster. This one, now that it's coming back, I think we can talk about. I shot this a while ago, and I can't remember if it was Bushmaster or there's another company. There's like two companies who made these guns and kind of passed it off. I can't remember what the situation was. But this is like, ergonomics wise, this is probably one of the best guns I've ever run from memory. It also shot pretty smooth, like everything was great. Nothing really to write home about when it comes to other AR-15 alternatives. But the one thing that stuck with me is like, you know, this is kind of the gun that I shot really early on that made me love AR-15 alternatives. So I have a little soft spot for it. Accuracy wise, they were known to be pretty accurate. I don't remember groupings wise, but I think it was kind of averaging around 1.5 MOA. And this is a gun that hasn't been updated or modernized for years because it's been discontinued. And now they're bringing it back, which the hopes is like, if this is your starting point, then hopefully add a rail on there, maybe make this modular so you can change the grip, update the trigger, make your barrels more accurate, and you've got a solid rifle, right? Because that's the only thing I would change is, you know, again, your rail, barrel, trigger, grip. Boom.
That's a lot.
Well, I mean,
but
when you look at it, like, look at the first gen APCs, you know, this was all one piece, and this was well, let's actually look at it. So APC 223 Gen 1. You know, well, that's still a Gen 2. Here we go. But Gen 1s were like, there was a lot of bulk in the front. You had a heavier rail up front with a lot more metal than there used to be, or now is. You had a grip that you were stuck with. Trigger was kind of awful. Not terrible, but it was like not great. And I'm trying to think of what else changed. Oh, your gas block. Your gas block was only 2 positions. You know, all these things got updated over time.
Yeah.
So you do the same to this gun right here, and you've got a pretty solid contender for an AR-15 alternative.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And also this stock spawned an entire subreddit. No joke. The ACR stock is solid. Yeah. No high point. I'd go high point because at least I can save on ammo. That's true. What do you guys think of my synopsis here with the ACR? What else would you change on this gun? So we already talked about grip, trigger, barrel, rail. What else would you change? Let us know in the comments.
In the chat.
In the chat. Video editing. Insane. Yeah, video editing is insane. Yeah, this is very lo-fi right now. Modern Warfare 2, yeah. It's also iconic from there. That's something too to talk about. Black Rifle Medic brings up that the scar. Oh, I lost your comment.
It was right there. Is that moving? No.
Sorry.
You went past it.
Back up.
Right there.
Suppressor problems. Scope. Yeah, suppressor problems. So the scar is notably notorious for having like gas pressure, or not gas blowback, but like basically gas in your face, as well as optics. It shoot through a bunch of optics apparently early on because it just had a lot of I want to say it didn't manage recoil properly. It's probably the what I'd chop it down to, but it was very choppy.
But can it FRT?
Yeah, that's the big question. Maybe
What?
M-lock rail.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
FRT. Yeah, as soon as the FRT comes out for this kind of bulk carrier group,
I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be pretty soon.
yeah.
Hopefully.
I worry about the FRT lawsuit or outcome.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of that? So
Maybe we'll talk about that after we're done with
yeah,
this.
yeah. Let's finish this.
You guys want to talk about the FRT
Or-
outcome? Let us know.
Depending on the time, we might do that next week.
That might be a good topic.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried. If you read how it's worded, it's not looking good for anyone who wants any other company besides Rare Breed.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's get into that later.
Okay. Cool. Moving on. ACR. So now we have the BRN-180. I need to find a better photo of this. Sorry, guys. I kind of commandeered this because this is a passion of mine. I have researched a lot about AR-15 alternatives. She's doing a script on it,
Yeah.
and like we're talking.
I'm
a
kind
lot.
of. Yeah.
What?
I ask you questions a lot because you do know more than me at this topic.
It comes in nerdy.
So, yeah. But I'm learning. That's why I like doing the scripts and I like doing the videos because I research a bunch and then I learn myself.
Yeah. You must learn before you teach. It's kind of like
Yeah.
that. There's some sort of motto there. Chime in if you feel like
No,
you have something to add.
the saying is if you
Trying to
can't
find a-
do, you teach.
Yeah. Trying to find the latest one, guys. There's a specific latest one that that's a cool photo. We'll use that one.
We actually have family in town, so it's already almost been an hour.
Yeah.
We'll see how long we go.
We'll see.
And we also have a lot of work to do.
The amount of script writing Alyssa does, and then we revise it, and we look over, and then we nitpick as much as we can.
Yeah. It's
And do a
of work.
lot of research. Yeah. So like that's pretty much what we do at night.
Yeah, it's like when the baby goes down.
Yeah.
But then he needs his time to unplug. Well, I do too, but like
Yeah.
lately you've been like, okay, I've been working too much. Like
You
I need to
gotta turn it
unplug.
off.
But I'm like, okay, but we also need to like get stuff done. So
Yeah.
it's been hard to kind of manage everything, especially with family this week and Dustin's birthday party.
Yeah. Dustin turned
And-
one
yeah.
on 25th. So happy birthday, Dustin.
Anyway,
So the BRN-180. Whoever put this in chat, congrats. We're talking about it now. So
you have to wake up at 4.
oh, dude.
Depending
Wait,
on
who
where
has
you
to?
live, Ralph has to wake up at 4.
God
Depending on where
bless
you
Ralph.
live, it's late anywhere
Yeah.
you are. Depending. Well, I guess not if you're. Anyway.
We'll
okay.
try and wrap it up for you, Ralph.
Or come back and watch
So
it later.
The cool thing about the BRN-180 is if you have an AR-15, you're halfway there, right? The Brownells has these kits just as the upper. They don't sell them as complete firearms anymore, which is good and bad. It means you can use whatever lower you want. Honestly, fits really well with our Radian. So the cool thing about the BRN-180, you might notice that this gun doesn't have a buffer tube, but it still is an AR-15. It's pretty much an AR-15. That's because
But is
all
it,
of your
though?
recoil... Yeah, but is it though? Wait till you see. All of your recoil spraying is happening by these two springs inside the upper receiver in this rod. You might notice that this is a little bit of a bulkier upper, how it kind of protrudes out here. That's because it's a little bit thicker and wider to accommodate 2 rods and 2 springs that cover those rods, essentially like that. I'm trying not to do the whole, thing, but that's how it is. But yeah, it's another piston system.
Is
we have
piston
one.
systems the future?
It's kind of the future in the past when you think about it. It's.
But do you think? Okay, yeah, that's fair. But do you think it's the future?
When you think about it, even your direct impingement AR15s are piston guns because the BCG acts like a piston. Like the gas goes.
Okay.
We're gonna have to talk about this when you script your video on DI guns versus. But if you think about it, there's not that many DI guns out there anymore. Even the AR15 is not technically DI. Anyway, so yeah, the one reason why you get this gun or why you get this upper is because you hate your T charging handle and you want to fold your gun and be able to shoot while it's folded. Right?
That's fair.
Well, I guess there's 2 reasons. Sorry, 2 reasons.
I mean, okay. Yeah,
recoil. It's a little bit punchier, just because you have shorter springs. You don't have that smooth buffer tube. It's not as smooth as an AR-15. I'll give it that as a traditional like buffer spring, everything. But the manual of arms on this gun feels so much better than operating a standard AR-15 because it gets rid of that T charging handle where again everything's right here and up here with this weird chicken arm, whatever you're doing. You don't do that anymore. You're like gripping, ripping, right?
And when I mention like pistons being the future, I'm not saying they haven't been around. I'm just saying, is that kind of where are we getting away from like the gas, like direct impingement,
Yeah, I don't know. It's got its pros and cons.
It does. It does.
Yeah. DI guns are not like DI guns are not bad.
No, they're not bad at all, and I don't think they're going away. The
only problem is you're getting more gas in your upper receiver, technically in the gun itself.
Yeah.
The expression "it shits where it eats." Your gas through a direct, like a typical DI, it's not a DI gun, but your typical DI gun is spewing all that gas back into your chamber or back into basically your operating your bolt carrier group, where all the mechanics are, right? Your bolts, your triggers, everything like that. So if you notice, DI guns get way dirtier, way faster, whereas piston guns, because basically all the gas is happening out towards the what do you want to call it? Handguard area.
Right.
So your gas tube is shooting out the gas, pushing a piston, and all that gas is staying up here. It's not being directed through a tube back into your receiver to then push a bolt carrier group.
Yep.
So I'm terrible at explaining, but hopefully
that's why I'm doing a video on it. Yeah. I can explain it in a way that's better.
ADHD guys, like you can tell why she's.
You're great for the live streams, though.
I don't know. I just spewing shit. BRN-180 overall consensus, really good. If you like AR-15s, you love them, but you want kind of that different manual of arms and to have a side charger off of the left side. BRN Gen 3, really good gun. Somewhat accurate. I think
could be better.
I think we're like 1.82 MOA.
Yeah.
Out of a 14 or 13 inch.
I'm trying to think of what the price is. I can't say it, but
yeah.
For the price, though, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember how much.
It's good. It's good.
Can't remember, but
you're just not going to be as accurate. Like it's not going to be the most accurate gun. I wouldn't build an SPR build. I would build a short barrel rifle build.
Yeah, that's fair.
Really, we've loved our experience. We have a video coming out.
Gen 3 has a reversible charging handle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah,
you're right.
So which brings us to everyone's favorite, MCX. You want to talk about this one?
Sorry.
I'm gonna get a chair.
Yeah, you.
Remember
I was thinking
Ohio
that when you
Range
kept
Day.
Well, I can't remember Okay, like I said earlier, when I shot this gun at Ohio Range Day, that was I was into guns, but I wasn't as into guns as I am now. And so back then, I know we mentioned this before, but I shot a Staccato back then, or I guess it was STI at the time. And I was like, yeah, sure. It's great. I don't know, like, felt good. I had no idea what I was shooting. But now I can actually, like, feel what I'm shooting and, like, feel the difference and actually understand it better. So back then, I just thought I was shooting a gun, right? Like, whatever it was, it just went over my head. So I don't really remember my experience too much with it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of heard what you're talking about, like, upstairs. But
Anyway.
this one's interesting. Gen 1 and Gen 2 had issues, and there's the reason why there's a Gen 3. But so far, from what I've seen, we had a Gen 2, which is the one that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Ran it, loved it, didn't really have any issues with it.
I don't remember having issues with that one.
Zero malfunctions, zero problems. We fed that thing through, I mean, at the time we were cheap and used steel cased ammo, so I don't think we had any remanufactured ammo. Like we just had bottom of the barrel. It fed, it ran, it was great. My knock on this gun is that you retain a charging. The worst part about an AR15 is that you retain that charging handle for discernibly no good reason, right? I think the only reason that I've seen on why they like to have this charging handle is because that's what military guys are used to. But why create a gun with a built-in flaw just because people are used to flaws? To me...
Well,
go ahead.
I wouldn't call it a flaw, though.
What would you call it?
A feature that some people may not like. I mean, some people may not like the side charging handles, so...
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Should we put another poll in chat
We
if
should.
you like T charging handles?
Do the little plus sign right there, yeah.
Okay, we're going to do...
Oh, you might have to end the other one.
Oh, we're going to end this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, newbie. End poll. What, machine guns ended? Or 36%?
Oh, man, it's pretty
Whoa! Even. You guys...
Not expecting that.
Did not expect that.
I can see an argument for all of them. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Let's start a new one.
So... side charging handle.
I'm interested to see this.
And then T charging handle. Oh gosh.
I know when they're watching what you're doing.
Yeah, charging.
Pump action all day.
Pump. Only the real G's. Okay. I think that's the preference. Why not both? Correct. Why not both is a good way. Wow. All right, right off the bat. T charging handle.
Okay, that's like probably one vote.
I know, but...
Oh, it's going down.
Okay, good. Whoa.
Good. Guys.
It's expensive.
Just do T.
Spas. Spas 12. Cool shotgun. But let's talk about the MCX. So piston system, it's adjustable gas. Like it's got all the things. Everything pretty much here has an adjustable gas.
Yeah.
Block, has a piston. It's like
When
pretty
you're
much all the same.
Yeah.
The closest comparison between this gun is actually the BRN-180, and I think where this gun beats it is accuracy. Give credit where credit's due. So when they make a good product, they make a good product, and it's a pretty accurate rifle. I think people have been averaging around 1 MOA or such with 16-inch barrel. So pretty good for like a battle geared, not SPR build, you know, just kind of the do-it-all rifle. Good triggers. Our stock trigger was pretty solid. And I can only imagine that got better with the Gen 3. So pretty comfortable outside of the ergonomics of the T charging handle and the weight in the front. When you get a decent stock on these things, you balance that gun like a lot more. I think SIG did itself a disservice by having that stock that we had.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I really don't remember it.
It was like this.
Okay.
It's pretty much like that. And I think SIG really screwed up by doing a skeletonized stock on what is a front-heavy gun.
Yeah, but do you like that better for the looks? Because you pretty much did that with the APC.
You got to remember.
Oh yeah, guys, he just bought a stock, the telescopic.
Yeah, we got to
telescopic
SPR this.
stock. And I was like, I don't know about that.
That's
a
different.
different. That's a
Dude,
different
that's
story.
a PDW setup. This is a rifle. This is 16 inches. You know, this is
yeah,
full shebang.
That's fair.
I would match this with this kind of stock right here. So if they came out with a or even how the Brens do it with kind of a thicker stock to balance the gun a little bit more. SIG was weird in that sense. I don't know why they did that. Yeah. Carson, I can understand as a vet you'd like T. I think
that's how I was at first as well.
Yeah.
And then lately, as I've been getting more like side charging handle guns and using them more, I'm starting to like them better.
Yeah.
So
it's totally how you train. Like, it's honestly, are you gonna run it any less better than is it a performance thing? Not really, but to me, if you get a
just
shooter,
convenience.
Yeah, if you get a shooter, new time shooter, way easier to clear jams.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to, like, I noticed, like, with your sister, just, like,
yeah,
trying to, it's just awkward.
Yeah.
In a way, right?
Like, again, everything, your grips here, your grips, like, pretty much maybe, 10 inches or whatever away. So your space of working is this close. If you want to hold that rifle, now you can always, like, go down and then use your shooting grip, or use your dominant grip and try and work it.
Yeah.
But you want to have pretty much your hand on the controls at all time if you can. So, like, to me, if you're up here working, so it makes the space way easier.
And especially when you're trying to hold a gun with one hand.
Yeah.
And then all the weight is going down, and you're trying to, like, come back here.
Yeah, you're trying to, like, finagle and throw it around.
It's just easier to, like.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'd rather give someone a new shooter. It just seems way more intuitive for them to be like, oh, it's up here. Here's where my left hand's floating, and my right, if they're right-handed, my right hand is stuck. It's stuck to the grip and the trigger and the controls, right? So that way I can actuate the safety, trigger, everything like that.
Something I didn't think about until just now. Also, I have, like, my stock is pretty, like, I have to have it shorter than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that, like, shortens the, like, amount of room I have.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
Yeah. But yeah, so thoughts on the SIG. I think the Gen 3s are pretty solid choices. They're a solid alternative. To me, they just do not offer that good of a difference between an AR-15. They're an AR-15 that's front heavy and is piston driven. Maybe it's better being suppressed. But it doesn't offer anything. Like, I would, if you're telling me, hey, should I get an MCX or should I get a Noveski or like a Geisley? Geisley's a good one. Should I get an MCX or a Geisley? I tell you, go Geisley. Like, straight up. This is cool. It's really cool for what it does, but, like, there's no advantage that I can see. The main advantage, again, for me, for AR-15 alternatives, is the manual of arms. So the BRN.
Yeah, I think those two are probably great. Just ones to compare.
Yeah.
Just the differences in what they did.
Now, if you like the SIG, you like the way it looks, you want to do a skeletonized stock or like a stock that you can fold and shoot at the same time, great. All power to you. Go for it. They're good guns. I just think you're a little diluted. Or maybe you like the look. So.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, the Bren. Yeah, these kind of do fall in order, I think. I think this one would actually be before the ACR. I'd rather take an ACR than a MCX. I'd rather take a SCAR than the JAKL. So we go JAKL, SCAR, MCX. I'd rather take a...
Wait, are we going that way?
This is the last. This is number 1, the winner. We already know it. This is last place.
Oh, okay.
Second to last, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good synopsis of where we'd put things.
Okay.
But this gun, you haven't shot
No.
the Bren. Okay.
I held it at SHOT Show.
What did you
but
think when you held it?
I liked it. I mean, nothing really like stood out to me.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
We held this after holding the APC 223, and these guns are pretty much similar.
Yeah.
Pretty dang similar. So I think that's probably why I didn't say, because
Probably.
you know, this was the first booth we went to at
Yeah.
SHOT Show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And I think what stood out to me was it was lighter. It's kind of a they're so close. They're so close. The APC 223 and the Bren 2. What stood out to me was its weight. It was lighter. It felt like it had more modular parts. Like in the grip, you can change out the grip panels and customize it. CZ had different lowers there to show off, so you know you can do rock and lock. They even had like the AK variants, the 7.62s. They had a bunch of stock configurations. So CZ to me seemed like they had a good ecosystem of compatible parts. But when I asked them, oh, okay, like, you know, when's this all coming out? Or like, you know, when are you guys launching this? Because I haven't seen it. They're like, oh, we're not launching it. It's only in like Ukraine right now.
Sorry, I was kind of distracted a little bit.
No,
You're talking about the Bren 3?
The Bren 2, or the Bren. The Bren in general. Because the Bren 3 is out, but it's in conflict right now.
Yeah, right.
And it's not getting sold to the civilian market until later. We don't know when. So there's a better version of this gun already out, already in full production. And kind of knowing that, you're like, well, why would I get a Bren 2? If I know you guys have already updated it, you just haven't launched it yet. That tells me as a consumer, oh, you guys found problems by having this overseas in conflict. And the Bren 2 is not old. The Bren 2 is fairly new. And you guys needed to modify it very quickly for that conflict. Sorry, anytime I get a YouTube notification, I was looking at your phone just like...
Oh.
is that we get taken down? But yeah, I mean, to me that just screams like there's something wrong with the Bren 2. You shouldn't buy it because that's not the gun they're fielding, right? They want that one out of circulation because something's going wrong and they had to replace it with the Bren 3, and they can't get a Bren 3 out to customers because they're trying to replace all the Bren 2s right now. In my mind, that's logistically how I'm thinking this is probably working from a company standpoint. Because otherwise, if your Bren 2s were fine and they can still be fielded and they're totally okay, then you would just launch the Bren 3 and you'd have enough supply to potentially sell to civilians, right? I don't think they're losing that many rifles where they couldn't field both of them, field the Bren 2 and the 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
But talking to them, it's like, yeah, they're replacing the Bren 2s with 3s and they're asking for those guns back. So I'm like, why would you? It's like a recall. It's essentially a recall. And I don't know, other than the rails, they have different rails inside them that are metal or some different metal components to add rigidity to the gun, from my understanding. So there was something in the gun that was failing quicker than expected, and they replaced it with...
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to remember exactly like what they changed.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like major, but it was things like that.
It's interesting.
I don't know.
But what do you guys think? Let's see, we should probably look at some comments here. That's pressure kind of sucks. You swap the LT. Sorry, we're just reading through comments here. Geisley makes some of the best barrels, by the way. Like, out of the ones we've tested, the Geisleys have been amazing. Ballistic Advantage, too.
Yeah.
I'd say. We've had good luck with Ballistic Advantage. Outsider. I don't like most modern triggers, yeah. My first two rifles were inherently .03 and Grand. Stage 2. Interesting. Yeah, for some reason, stock triggers, I don't know why in mass production, like, we don't just have Geisley single stage triggers. They've been out so long, I feel like Geisley would be more than willing to license those. I don't know. The MBT heavy spring, I think you'll like it. Are you talking about the stock? Reliable stage 2. Okay, they're talking about trigger modifications here. 5 Mac 5. All the way. MCX all the way. Interesting, Ralph. Oh, yeah. Libertarian neighbor, HPA. It is in the bill that is going to the House. If it passes the House, it'll go to the Senate. If it passes the Senate, it'll go to the President's desk.
Yes. So the HPA, the Hearing Protection Act, is in the bill as of right now, but not the Short Act, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Gun Owners of America just posted about it on their Instagram. Probably an hour ago now.
Yeah.
So if you don't, what I would suggest is following Gun Owners of America and then turning on the notification bell on their Instagram, because they'll post that all the time. Post the updates on that. So
in our live stream earlier, we talked about the HPA and the bill and that process. So
yeah.
But yeah, if you guys aren't calling your representatives, call them. Do it. It took you like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Yes. So it removes suppressors. The Hearing Protection Act removes suppressors from the NFA, and and you don't have to pay a $200 tax stamp. So. Yeah,
the Short Act is canned for now, but they hope to bring it back in the Senate.
The Short Act is for the SBRs.
Yeah. So, Black Rifle Medic, I'm glad you said something, because that brings us to the APC 223. No, you're absolutely right. All of these guns will not do anything that an AR-15 can't, but some of them, in my humble opinion, do things that, well, they do things better. For example, direct impingement AR-15s or DI AR-15s tend to be very gassy when suppressed. A lot of these guns, especially the B&T APC 223, if you look at some videos on how it handles suppressors, handle it very, very well. Pretty much all your gas is getting, I'm pointing at the screen, all your gas is getting spewed out before it enters really your I don't know what to call that, your bolt carrier group area, like that, this cutout. But it minimizes a lot of gas that gets into your receiver. That's essentially it.
Yeah.
Which is great, because if you shoot a gassy rifle, you'll know how much it sucks. Yeah. Your eyes get watery. You can't see. You're gonna die a blind man. Like, that's how it's gonna be. So that's one thing. Two is they typically can be more compact because you don't have to deal with the buffer spring or buffer tube area. Like, this can fold and I can still shoot it. Like, so let's say if I'm carrying in a vehicle, whatever emergency, that's not a big thing to me, because I think you'll have enough time, even if you had a foldable AR. They also have law folders, so like AR-15s can have law folders if you flip it aside. But I think for convenience sake, law folders are a bit hard to deal with, because you have to have that extra piece in there, and that could get lost. You're literally opening up the back end of your BCG if you fold your AR-15. So there's a lot of cons. You're lengthening your eye box essentially. So like we don't talk much about this, but if you put that law folder in between you and your rifle, you're lengthening your what to call it, the eye box, but basically where your head position is and your optic is. So you have to move that optic all the way back. Well, what happens when you move that optic all the way back? You have your charging handle, and so a lot of optic how do I say, QD, like think EOTechs or think of American Defense bases or stuff like that have the QD optic mounts, they get in the way of the T-charging
do.
handle. And so
I
now
have witnessed that firsthand, and it's
Yeah.
so annoying.
So there's a lot of like when you start really customizing AR-15s, you realize like, okay, that doesn't work with that, and that doesn't work with that. You go with an AR-15 alternative like an APC, you can have all of that, and it doesn't mess with your sight picture. It doesn't mess with your eye box, you know. And that's only important if you're running a LPVO, right? So like if you're not running an LPVO, you're running a red dot setup, then and you're not doing magnification. That's fine, but
On
either.
yeah, okay.
Like if you're not worried about magnification, your eye box and where your head's positioned, that's totally fine. More power to you. But those are a couple things, and then one of the most important, in my opinion, is ergonomics and malfunctions and jams. I personally hate clearing malfunctions in AR-15s because of the T-charging handle setup. It to me is just not a great place because as soon as this hand's off that rifle trying to work the bolt, I only have this hand to really work the gun and try to move it and try to get rid of that jam. Or if there's something stuck in the chamber, now I got to pull this back, try and use my finger if it's an ambidextrous control to catch the bolt, right?
Okay.
And then try to get my finger in there and mess with it, right? Whereas if I'm here at the side charging handle, a lot of the times I can rack it here, use my thumb to get the bolt all the way back and hold it, or use that bolt catch, and then work the area or the malfunctions. So to me, I just have more leverage. It's more
But if
comfortable.
you have an
It's more
ambi
ergonomic.
bolt catch,
Yeah.
is that
I mean, technically, both ways can work. Like I said, it's not going to do anything different than an AR-15. It's just, in my opinion, the way I work better, right?
Okay.
You can still do it with an AR. Absolutely. Everything's doable with an AR-15. But that's my case for why I would gravitate towards an AR-15 alternative.
Okay.
So, okay. APC 223 time. So, I actually like the Gen 1s, but in a different configuration. Like, okay, let me back it up. Gen 1 bolt carrier group did not have the split, the split at the top to make it non-reciprocating, right? It basically was one full unit, and it was a reciprocating bolt. I kind of like that because it utilized the mass of the bolt to reduce the recoil, which made for a smoother bolt.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Gen 1s used a heavier bolt carrier group to reduce your recoil. And
to slow it down.
the Gen 2s cut this little piece off, thus reducing the weight of the bolt, and they needed to increase the pressure of the spring to again reduce recoil. Now, when you do that, it's kind of a heavier. It's a heavier spring in there, right?
Yeah.
Which could be good. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just personally, when I buy an expensive gun, I want it to be like Swiss. I want it to be like butter, right? And I'm thinking of like Atlas or like a 2011. When you get a glass like 2011, you start racking the slide and playing with it, and you start really getting that feel. That's how Gen 1s feel. Gen 2s feel a lot heavier in comparison.
Mainly because of the spring.
Personal preference, yeah. Mainly because of the spring.
Okay.
Personal preference. There's a lot of downsides to Gen 1s, but anyway. This to me is the best alternative because it's highly durable. There's been a lot of durability tests. It's highly modular in that, like we talked about in the beginning, it's 3 pieces that you mainly need to worry about. Your upper receiver, or your upper, which is your serialized part.
Hold up.
Yep.
Going back. You were just talking about the BRN. No, the Bren. Sorry.
Bren.
The Bren. If there's a Bren 3, why would you get a Bren 2?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you get a Gen 1 when there's a Gen 2?
No, I told you.
I rest my case.
I told you I'd get a Gen 1. I just told you.
Okay, fine,
There
whatever.
is no problem. Hold on. The problem you're talking about is that, yeah, I mean, I'm worried that we don't have the Bren 3. And that they're trying to push the Bren 2s on the civilian market and then push the Bren 3s into service and push out the Bren 2s from service, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm worried at that transfer.
Gotcha.
B&T selling, they don't sell the Gen 1s anymore. They just updated their product.
I see.
This situation feels a little bit fishy to me. Just something yeah, anyway. And I could be wrong. It could be like it's just they can't get manufacturing up. That could be it. Totally fine. But when you tell me that we reinforced the receivers because we were having issues and we needed to update it real quick, and it took us less than 2 or 3 years in combat to actually figure that out, like that, there's a lot of red flags to me.
Okay.
From Bren 2.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
These are still in use. Gen 1s are still in use. Gen 1s are totally fine. The only thing they updated were, again, your non-reciprocating charging handle, your changing grips. They updated the rail to be lighter weight, and your gas block. It has more positions. And your trigger group. They adjusted something with the triggers. Everything else is pretty much the same. So all Gen 1 parts, to my knowledge, will work with Gen 2. Anyway. Sorry. I have autism, guys. I swear. I do. It's a problem. But I obsess over these rifles.
Night, Ralph.
Good hanging with you, Ralph. So, yeah, there needs to be more awareness on the Bren situation.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. This is what we heard from SHOT Show, so I'm like,
yeah, there could be more information out there. We just haven't looked it up or kept up on it. So.
But the Bren situation is totally fine, to my knowledge. Or sorry, the APC situation is totally fine, to my knowledge. But yeah, I think I've rested my case. I don't know what else to talk about this gun. Really nice Swiss design. We are not paid by B&T. Big fans of their product. Every B&T we've gotten has been bought.
Yep.
I just really like their guns. They are expensive. That is the one thing that I would tell you guys. These things are expensive. You can buy them secondhand though.
Guntism.
Yeah.
Guntism is a good one to have.
That's a good one. I like that.
I don't know if he understands it.
There should be a pass.
Do you get the joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Autism gun.
You looked like you didn't get it.
It's part of my guntism, all right?
Okay.
All right. I'm done. I have given my spiel here.
Oh, so let's look at the poll because the T charging handle, it was higher and it started to go down. Look at that. But we're still at like...
Maybe I'm convincing them.
Maybe that's what it was. The more and more you talked about it.
I wish we could show guns on live streams. Because then I could just bring it here and be like...
Stupid YouTube, man. I am done with YouTube's stupid rules.
If they do air guitar. Anyway, you wanted to talk about one more thing.
What was it?
Legal stuff. Oh, FRT.
Oh, do we want to do that? It's 9:30. Do we want to do it now or next week? Or is it old next week? Is that topic old? It'll never be old. There's probably going to be something new.
I mean, look at SIG P320 situation. We beat that dead horse for months now.
Well, we didn't really. We talked a little bit about it every time, but
yeah. What do you think, Alyssa? AR15 or AR15 alternatives?
Oh man. Okay, so if you would have asked me like 3 months ago, I would have said AR15. But now
I'm just showing everyone what the options are.
But now I'm leaning towards the alternatives. You know what I love?
What?
And I bring this up every time now that I have it. My HK.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
The MR556A4.
Do you love it or do you love HK?
Oh, I think so. Do you love it or do you love the idea of it?
Yeah, that too.
Both.
Okay.
Both. Well, I mean, I don't know if I would say I love HK. Like,
yeah.
I don't really have much experience with their handguns, so I don't know if I love those.
P30 SK we've had.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't. But that's really the only one I have much experience with. But
Yeah.
anyway, no, I love that gun. But what? You're still just like
Window
switching
shopping.
through. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think there's a place for them for both. Obviously the chat, 61% of you voted for the T charging handle, so you're not on my side.
See, and my HK has a T charging handle, so.
But imagine
What do
if
you
it
do?
didn't. Like, if it didn't, if magically it had a side charging handle, would that be a better gun?
It might just be stiff right now because I need to break it in.
It's just stiff. It's just a little stiff. Oh, actually, if you guys want to make your direct impingement AR-15s 100% better, I guess it works for both. Actually, if you want to make your AR-15 100% better,
What are we talking about? Because we need to be careful with YouTube. If this is gun modifications, we can't say it.
there is a piece that we'll put it in her stories. Go to her stories.
Go on Instagram. We can say more there.
This one trick will make your AR-15 shoot way better. No, it seriously will. It's like the hidden gem.
What are you talking about?
The
Oh, okay.
yeah, you know, yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
okay. Go to her stories
People
after
agree.
the live.
A lot of people agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's also grease. Grease your buffer.
Grease
too.
will go a long way.
Yeah. Like I'm not talking lube. I'm talking grease. Your buffer tube. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well,
We can talk about FRTs next time because we got to call it, or else we will literally be here for like 3 hours.
yeah. I had an energy drink before. I have to apologize because I just completely my tism kicked in.
Good, because like I said, you know more about this than I do about
Dude.
these guns. So
Yeah. She knows more about like pistols and shooting
yeah.
and how to get
Yeah.
better at shooting. Like
yeah,
for me, I'm a rifle nerd.
yeah, that's fair. I've always loved like pistols.
Yeah.
I've loved them from day one. And okay, real quick, do you know why? Like when you took me shooting for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and like that first like month we were shooting, do you know why I liked pistols more?
Why?
It's because the recoil and everything going on was farther away from my face. Literally, that's the reason. I didn't like having my face right here, and like recoil and just like the gun like this close to me and close to my face.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I know that's like people are gonna laugh at me for that, but it's true. When I
Yeah.
was first into guns, I liked pistols because it was further away from my face. Can't explain it.
It's fair.
I know it makes me sound stupid, but
That's fair. Take your wife shooting pistols.
I just think
Shoot a 22. That's yeah.
we need to
We
get.
should've
We
got
don't
I
have a
should've-
22. We need a 22.
I bet you if I started you on 22s. I mean, we started at the same time. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But if we started with 22s, we probably wouldn't. You would have gotten into it quicker.
Maybe.
Took you 3 years to like shoot, like actually go shoot. And no, I don't want to say
To like
competitively.
be proactive
Yeah.
with it.
Took you 3 years, and then you were like, "Yeah, I want to do this." But
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. Thank
Seriously,
you.
every one of you.
Oh, we're back at 60%.
And never mind,
61.
61% of you are dead to me, but thank you for the rest of you.
Yeah.
So.
We'll have to charge the ace next time too, so we can do more of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, seriously. Okay, we need to do this because every time we talk about it, but we never do it. We need to have, so we can have up to 8 players, is what he said, in multiplayer on the Ace virtual shooting system.
First people in the chat get. Yeah, I like it.
So we can probably just put your username in here,
Mhm.
right? And then I think I just need to add you as a friend, or you add me as a friend, or both, or
Whatever.
something. Again, like I said, I haven't done this yet. And then
We'll test it.
yeah, and then we'll just have a little party. That's gonna be so fun. And
That
if
would
you
be
don't
fun.
have someone literally just bought the system like while I was on the live stream, so I know you guys have it.
No,
I'm
I know
serious.
you guys have it.
Somebody bought it literally as we're speaking. So
Okay.
I see you guys, and I know there's a lot of you out there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the system, buy it because. Are we doing this next week?
Because she gets commission. That's why.
No, I do, and I really appreciate it. But you guys also get a discount if you use my code. That's.
This is your ploy. Hold on, I just figured out her strategy. She's gonna do these lives, get as many of you as possible to buy it, so she can get commissions, and then she'll just like perpetually invite new people to get into it.
You're not just buying the system, though.
You're buying a friendship.
You're buying
You're
this family.
this family. What are you, a cult leader? I say don't do it, guys. I'm gonna start my own live stream,
You guys already bought it though.
and we're gonna. I don't know. We can't do real guns. Never mind. No, I was gonna say we go do a real live range day.
But are we? Yeah, let's go live next week,
All
right?
Yeah.
You don't have anything else going on? Nothing on the
I
schedule?
got Safari Party, my rally.
No, that's not next week. That's like not even the week after. No,
We
that's
got
no,
Go
that's the next
6
week.
on the ASAP. Open invite.
Okay. Yeah, next week,
Okay.
May 28th.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yep, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a little party, little Ace virtual shooting system party. So if you don't have it, buy it today, and then yeah, you'll probably get it by then, right?
Stop. You're pushing this hard.
Okay, no, seriously.
Chill.
It's just
chill,
fun.
Chill.
Maybe a little bit, but it is fun.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well, thank
you guys
you
will
guys.
see next week.
I think that's it for this live stream. So,
Okay.
call it a night.
Cool.
Good night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
60%. Oh God, 60%. Well,
Went down 1%.
Went down 2%. It was at 62 for a minute, and
Oh.
I was like worried about it. But
There we go.
all
Cool.
right. Cool. Well.